Hey, brand builder, Rory Vaden here. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this interview. As always, it's our honor to provide it to you for free. And wanted to let you know there's no big sales pitch or anything coming at the end. However, if you are someone who is looking to build and monetize your personal brand, we would love to talk to you and get to know you a little bit and hear about some of your dreams and visions and share with you a little bit about what we're up to see if we might be a fit. So if you're interested in a free strategy call with someone from our team, we would love to hear from you. You can do that at brandbuildersgroup.com/podcall, brandbuildersgroup.com/podcall. We hope to talk to you soon.
Well, growing up with very little money, I've spent a decent part of my professional career studying money and learning about money. And one of the principles that I've heard consistently from different places about how do you make money and who makes a lot of money is this principle. There's a principle about making money that says money loves speed. Money loves speed. Money follows speed. And I've really found that to be true, right? I mean, people are they're willing to pay for results faster. That's what people are willing to pay for. And, this interview with Jay Baer blew my mind, as it always does. And Jay's one of my best buddies and a mentor and a friend. And like, we've helped him through the years. He's helped us a ton. And every time this guy writes a book, it's a paradigm shifting book. That's one of the things I love about Jay Baer books. And he's written on some different subjects over the years, but it's like every time it's like a new big idea every single time. And this, I think, is brilliant, right? His whole premise is speed as a competitive advantage. Speed as a competitive advantage. What if you focus just on being faster? And I think that this is one of the most powerful questions that you can ask to make more money, and to get more referrals and to break through Sheehan's wall and become more well-known. It's to say, how can I help my customers succeed faster? How can I help my customers succeed faster? That is like the whole mission of Brand Builders Group that we're on right now, right? Like when we first started the company, it was sort of like survival mode, getting it off the ground. Then it was sort of like, scaling up our operations and infrastructure. Then it was streamlining and really clarifying and distilling down what it is that we do. And we had 1 year that was basically like creating all the curriculum. And now we're entering this era where all we're doing, everything that we're focused on is how do we help our clients succeed faster? And I didn't really think of that as a competitive advantage because we don't really compete with people. Like we don't make strategic decisions based on like what other people in the market are doing, but just as an advantage, right? Or just as a, as a differentiator, right? Speed as a differentiator, or speed as a reason for people to choose you. And that the stat that blew my mind was when Jay said 2/3 of people say that speed is as important as price, right? So this is from Jay's book, The Time to Win, which is obviously what we were talking about. Get it. It's a great little book. I mean, it's a super quick read. And 2/3 of people say that speed is as important as price. Like we live in this era, this is what he said, where people interpret speed as caring and responsiveness as respect. That's so good. And that is so true. Like that AJ, there's the 5 love languages, whatever it is, like gifts of the heart and acts of service and all that. AJ's love language is responsiveness. Like at least in the professional setting, that is her love language, is responsiveness. She wants people to be communicative with her. Where are we at on the project? What's the delay? When's it going to be finished? What's the deadline? What do you need? Who's the bottleneck? Like what's the plan? And when she sends a message, it's like she wants an answer immediately. And for a CEO, I think she's insanely responsive. Like most CEOs are not all that responsive. They're pulled in all these directions, but she just values it so much. And she interprets responsiveness as respect. If you don't respond to her quickly, it's a sign of disrespect. And I'm starting to see this, right? This whole conversation with Jay opened up my eyes, because I go, this is me. I care more about, as a consumer, I care more about speed than price. I go, yeah, I'm willing to pay more to move faster. And that's part of what, the era we're in at Brand Builders Group is like, we are a strategy firm. Like at our core, we're a strategy firm. We're not an agency. But we are creating more tools and templates to help clients succeed faster, and to always create better strategies, more customized strategies to help them access what they need so that they can get results faster and faster and faster to get things deployed. And here's another line that I love from Jay when he said this. He said, "It's okay to be a little bit wrong if you're a lot a bit fast." It's okay to be a little bit wrong if you're a lot a bit fast. And many times, you think of like search engine optimization, like demand-driven marketing. When people are searching a term, it's like they want something, they want it now. A huge part of whether or not you make that sale is like, who can get to that person first? Who can return their phone call first? And so I thought this was really, really cool. One of the tactical things that I just wanted to come back and underscore and highlight to for everybody is the idea of a fast pass, right? The idea of a fast pass is that people will pay to be able to skip the line. People will always pay to be able to go to the front of the queue, right? I mean, this is like the VIP line. This is anything VIP, or Disney has the fast pass, or all the amusement parks, right? If you go to Universal Studios or whatever. And that's one of the things that we have started offering, right? Is we have created opportunities for people to coach with me directly. And it's a higher investment, because I can help people get to results faster just because I got the most experience doing this personally, and the most experience coaching other people to do it, right? So historically, I've never been available like formally to do private coaching with our clients, right? I coach everybody. I'm at our events, and I do 2 group coaching calls a month. So like we have different tiers in our membership, right? And so there's, depending on what tier you're in, you get to come to our live events. Well, I think we're doing 32 live events next year. And so 4 of them that are 2 days I'm at, and AJ's at personally. Those are in-person event. Not all of our events are in person. And then twice a month for all of our members, I lead group coaching where people can ask me questions, and, we do like rapid fire. But doing private one-on-one coaching is not something that historically that we have offered until recently. We have created something called Brand Mastery, which is when people can work with me directly in a very small group, right? It's still a small group, but they can work with me directly as their strategist. And there's a higher level investment, and that's because we go really fast, right? And we have an annual pass of that, where people are able to spend up to 10 days with me a year, and we can crank. I mean, if I get 10 days in a room with someone, we can transform their personal brand quickly. So that's an example of a fast pass. We're also working on for years, we've been developing something that we're just now rolling out called Instant Automation Toolkit. Instant Automation Toolkit is something that's only available for Brand Builders members, right? So you have to be one of our strategy clients, because you have to have the education. You have to understand how it all works together. You have to know what a brand positioning statement and the 15 Ps and the content diamond and webinar funnels, and like, how all of these, the modular content method, like how it all fits together. But then we took all of our 6 core campaigns for our high converting webinar funnels, selling high dollar offers, booking keynotes, doing book launches, building websites, the 6 most important core campaigns, and we templatized all of them. And now we make it available to members. They can either buy them and own them outright, or they can just rent them for like a much lower fee, so that we can get them live quickly. That's why Instant Automation Toolkit is everything about going, okay, now you've learned the strategy the next era of Brand Builders Group is going, how can we help you execute faster and cheaper? Because if you have to go source and hire all these people, whether they're employees or vendors, it's slow, it's painstaking, it's expensive, and you're likely to make mistakes that cost you money because you don't really know how to coach them. Well, Instant Automation Toolkit is going, what if we just give you ours? And so we've been developing this for years, and it's amazing. We're just about to roll it out. We've already rolled out our copywriting templates. So half of it is copywriting templates. The other half is the actual technology, where we build the funnels and build the websites for you, using our actual one. So we take our exact funnels and then we swap out our stuff, put your stuff in there. So the copywriting templates have been available, and it's like, we've got people cranking out entire pipelines in a few hours or a few days. Like it's amazing, and going, yeah, people will pay for that because there's value to that, because money loves speed. You know, the other thing is when you think about money in relation to time multiplies money, right? Compounding interest. If I take money and I invest it today, you know, money invested over time it grows and grows and grows. So the earlier I can have access to money, the earlier I have access to cash flow, the longer amount of time I get to benefit from interest, right? From compounding interest. So there's value to having money today versus having money in the future. This is another thing that we do. We started in Brand Builders Group about a year and a half ago. We rolled out a pay in full feature. And so what happens is, you know, we have our programs, our annual memberships, and we've got, you know, now counting Brand Mastery, we've got 3 different levels of membership. Well, there's a discount for paying in full, where we give people 2 months free if they pay in full today, because even though it costs us money, right, we lose money on that, and we still have all the costs of delivering those last 2 months of service. But there's value to having all the cash in hand now, because we can reinvest that cash into growing the business versus having to wait for it and not seeing it for 10 months. There's also value in the certainty of collecting it, right? And so we share in that with our customers to go, hey, if you're willing to commit for 12 months and pay us now and go, we're in this together, we'll give you a discount. And so that's the first time we don't, other than that, we don't discount. We never discount. We don't change our prices. You know, people can buy a lower thing and get a lesser price, but we don't sell the same thing to 2 people for lesser prices. We don't discount. So, but we have offered this fast pass, and it's been massive. Clients love it. They also get to accelerate the deduction on their taxes, right? So like right now, as an example, or when you get to the end of the year or the end of a fiscal year, you know, they can pay us for a year in full, and they can accelerate that deduction on like this year's taxes. So we see a lot of that happen at the end of the people's calendar year, the end of their fiscal year. So think about, how can you incorporate a fast pass concept into your business model? Because I think this really is true. My third big idea or takeaway from Jay in this interview was when he said, give your customers a clue of what to expect as it relates to time. Absence of any guidance, they'll expect it instantly. And I thought, wow, that really is powerful. And so make a time promise. The way he said it was, make a time promise, but make one that you can over deliver on. And I think that's really key, right? It's not, you know, if you don't tell me when I'm going to get it, my brain defaults to, oh, I want it tomorrow, right? Even if it's like building a website, right? You go, okay, well, I'm hiring you to build me a website. Like, why can't I have it tomorrow? Like, why can't I have it next week? Like, what's the big deal, right? Part of the reason, and I think that's a natural default that people have, because part of the reason why they're hiring someone else is they don't have the wherewithal to do it themselves. So they often aren't knowledgeable about all of the details and the steps and the processes and the things that go into doing something. And that's why they're hiring someone in the first place. So we tend to underestimate how long it takes other people to do things. We tend to underestimate how long it takes other people to do things. And that's because we don't know how to do them. And so we're not aware of all of the steps. And absent that awareness, we don't have the ability to calculate the time or really appreciate even sometimes everything that they're doing. So what happens is, if someone communicates though, and they say, "Oh, no problem, we'll have your website done in 2 months." Well, I don't love that, but it's better than them not saying anything. And like after the end of month 1, I'm going, "Well, I was thinking this would take a week. Like, why is it taking 4 weeks? Like, what's the deal here?" And now I'm annoyed. Versus if you say, "Oh, it's going to take 3 months," and you actually deliver it in 8 to 10 weeks, now I'm ecstatic because I go, "Oh, while I would love for it to be done tomorrow, you set the expectation for me that it wasn't going to be done for 3 months, and then you over delivered and you beat that. So now I'm ecstatic." So this is a really important conceptual point to understand, that it's not really how long something takes that annoys people or makes them happy. It's how long it takes in proportion to their expectation of how long they thought it would take, right? So if it takes 6 months, that's neither long or short. It's only relative. So this is very similar to how we teach our members when they're selling high dollar offers. There's no such thing as expensive or inexpensive. There's only such a thing as relative, right? So if somebody's going to pay me $100,000 to spend 2 days with me, you go, "Well, that feels expensive." And it's not nothing, but I go, "Well, yeah, but if I can help someone land a $500,000 book advance, if I can help someone become a New York Times bestseller, if I can help them get speaking engagements where they're gonna do, $500,000 to $1 million a year in speaking fees for the rest of their career, if I can help them save $100,000 on their taxes every year for the rest of their life, if I can teach them, how to build a sales team that will grow millions of dollars," like it's not much relative to that. So it's always relative, right? Well, this is the same thing. Time is never really long or short. It's always relative. And in this case, for your customers, it's relative to their expectation of how long it was going to take, right? So give them a time promise and make it one that you can over deliver on, because if you tell me it's going to take 4 months and it takes 6 months, now I'm upset. But if you tell me it's going to take 8 months or 10 months or a year and you're done in 6 months, man, now I'm ecstatic. It still took 6 months. It took the same amount of time, right? Like it takes whatever time it takes to do something. So of course, hopefully you can operate more efficiently, but I think what you want to do is what people don't allow for, and part of the reason why we underestimate how long everything takes is because what people never allow for, they never account for, is they never account for unplanned expenses of time or money. They never account for emergencies. They never account for extraordinary items, unforeseen delays. I remember early in my career as an entrepreneur, I had a financial mentor, and we were looking at financial statements, and I was saying, "Well, gosh, I feel like we're being punished because there's this one unusual item that, we didn't have in the budget." And I go, "Well, how is that our fault? Like, none of us saw it coming. It's not like it was poor management of the company." And his response to me was, he says, "Well, you have to create a budget that always has margin in it for things like that, because while it's unexpected, you can always expect the unexpected. You can always plan for the unplanned. You can always assume that something is going to happen that you weren't assuming was going to happen." And that is a radical mind shift as it relates to your personal finances, right? And not spending every dollar you have, but saving to go, I can't spend every dollar, because what happens when I get a flat tire, or when the water heater breaks, or I have to take a sudden flight somewhere that I wasn't planning on. Like, you have to be able to do that. You want to have margin. You want to have margin in your planning, margin in your budgeting of money, and budgeting of time. And so understanding all of this and realizing that time is, in this case, according to Jay's research, right? This is empirically validated now. 2/3 of people say that speed is as important as price. And I'm in that 2/3, right? I go, man, if one person, is going to charge me 10% more, but they can get it to me, 30% faster, I'm in every time. So minding people's time, treating it as sacred, making a time promise, over delivering on it, giving them an opportunity for a fast pass to pay extra to move things faster. And just realizing that people interpret, this is right from Jay, speed as caring and responsiveness as respect. That is from my man Jay Baer, his new book, The Time to Win. Go buy the book, y'all. It's not even a full-size book. It's a little tiny book. Like you can read it in an hour, and it is life-changing, paradigm-altering, this idea of using speed as a competitive advantage. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully listening to this podcast is helping you accelerate on your journey. And I hope we get a chance to move you at some point from being, a free consumer of our content to working with us and watching how we can accelerate your dream coming true faster and faster to help you drive more leads to your business, launch a new revenue stream, write books, be a speaker, grow your audience, grow your impact, whatever your dream is for building your personal brand. Hopefully we get a chance to partner with you to make that dream come true faster. That's a big part of our wish. Until next time, we will, we'll sign off for now. Have a great one. We'll catch you here next episode, Influential Personal Brand Podcast. Share this with someone who needs it. See you then.